Hi, this is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're listening to the Going in Raw podcast. Joey Janela always goes in.
This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Going in Raw.
Hey everyone, Kenny Omega here. In case you didn't know, we have an awesome kick butt show called Steve and Larson's Going in Raw, and they're going to be supporting AEW every week amongst many other things. Goodbye and smooch. Good night. Bye-bye.
Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live on the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Should be some fun tomorrow on the Twitch. We're going to be doing sort of a casual watch along of Impact Wrestling's Victory Road, where the Impact title. This is going to be fun because we're going to be doing our predictions during the show. Before the match bell for each match, we will be doing our predictions for it. Of course, Impact title is going to be on the line.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Are you going to make your picks in advance or just do it on the fly?
I'll probably make them. I mean, I've kind of figured on what I'm going to pick. I just haven't really figured on confidence points. Why do you ask?
Just curious.
Okay. I'll probably do them in
I've done no research. I didn't look to see what the results were for Impact this Thursday. You're going to have an obvious advantage over Enforcer and I because you've actually kind of kept up with Impact. And I know looking at the card, there's not a whole lot of gimme matches. There's not a whole lot of locks, apart from Christian and Ace Austin.
I don't think this is the type of situation like New Japan last time when I had watched the go home, for example, with the kind of one of the deciding matches, Yano versus Chase Owens.
Yeah.
There might be one or two of those situations where I'm like, okay, I kind of feel like Impact is on a different level. They will just book stuff completely out of the blue. It's kind of one of the joys of Impact. So look, if I win, it won't be because I did more research and I've watched 2 episodes of Impact since they got rid of Impact on Twitch.
More than Larson.
And if I lose, it's not going to shock me. It's not going to shock me.
Fair enough.
If I get through this somehow with the Impact title, I'll have a chance at Ultimo the following week with Extreme Rules. Then I'll be pretty happy. And if I don't, hey, you know what? I like the intrigue of Ultimo being a difficult thing to achieve.
Yes.
Let's speak a little bit. So tomorrow that's at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Correct.
On our Twitch channel. Correct. We're going to watch that along. We're going to watch it along. And I think it's is it an Impact Plus pay-per-view?
I believe so. Don't quote me on that, but okay. I believe so.
I think you're probably right about that. So we're going to be doing a watch along. If you just want to hang out with us and shoot the shit, you could do that too. No, you don't have to watch along.
Yeah.
And then speaking of Impact up until, well, still is, I think, the employer of Tommy Dreamer. Now we will be doing our Dark Side of the Ring review of the Plane Ride from Hell episode. That is going to be dropping tomorrow. We've already filmed it today. There was a lot of face palming, a lot of just bewilderment over some of the things that were said in that episode, specifically from Tommy Dreamer. Given the uproar on the internet last night over his comments on that episode, we figured there might be some repercussions. Larson, what's the latest on that?
There have been some repercussions. Apparently, Impact has suspended Tommy Dreamer. They issued the following statement. We are aware of Mr. Laughlin's, Tommy Dreamer, comments on Dark Side of the Ring. The views expressed by him in the interview are completely unacceptable. We can confirm Mr. Laughlin was suspended this morning with immediate effect pending further action.
Yeah. Stepping foot in that locker room, I think, would probably be a difficult thing if he didn't do a lot of soul searching and maybe sought out some sort of professional help beforehand. because some of the stuff he said in there has no place in society.
Correct.
It doesn't in a wrestling locker room, in a wrestling ring, in a professional environment, in any place, in any way, shape, or form. I was really shocked and disappointed with what I heard.
Same.
And I know,
Same.
yeah, you were too.
Yeah. There was a couple instances where my jaw dropped. I was so shocked about what he said. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah. So hopefully he takes this as an experience to learn from and makes a sincere and concerted effort to, to understand that his views are not, they have no place. And if he makes a sincere effort to do that, then, maybe the guy will deserve a second chance, but that's not for us to decide.
Nope.
So yeah, there's that. And then, there's no word as of now. I know Busted Open said something about we do not condone, was it either the comments or is it we do not condone
I have not
sexual...
read the quote. I know someone in chat mentioned something about it while we were doing our Rampage reaction stream. I haven't had a chance to read the quote yet, so I don't know exactly what the verbiage was that they used. So
I think what's his name? Dave LaGreca?
Mm-hmm.
I think he said something, and again, I didn't listen to it. Said something about we're looking at it, we're taking it seriously, and then that's all they wanted to say about it. So who knows how that's going to affect his spot on Busted Open. As for Ric Flair, I would imagine there's probably going to be some more repercussions. However,
so.
In the immediate, Flair's commercial campaign for CarShield has been suspended as well, with CarShield agency Intermedia issuing the following statement to PW Insider. We take these matters very seriously. As of right now, we are pausing the campaign and we will do our due diligence. So yeah, we have a lot more to say on the Plane Ride from Hell episode. Look for that on our YouTube channel and wherever audio podcasts can be found tomorrow, first thing in the morning. Let's talk about some Rampage. We're kind of on the road. Next week is a huge week.
Yes.
We had noted that this past week's episode of Dynamite, there was some story progression, a lot of setup involved for the coming up the two Grand Slam episodes.
Especially the Dynamite next week is virtually a pay-per-view in terms of
it's huge
match quality, in terms of the card. The match is scheduled. That's what I'm trying to say. The quality of the match card. Because, they could put that out there for an all-out, a full gear, or Revolution, or Double or Nothing. And I don't know anybody who would be upset with that. It's a pretty loaded card. And yeah, they did some work on Dynamite. They did even more work tonight. We didn't get a segment between Britt and Ruby Soho on Dynamite. We got one tonight, and it was pretty good.
Oh man, I loved this.
Yeah,
I thought this was the highlight of the show.
The verbal back and forth between them was really good. It was it was really good stuff. And then we got a couple really good matches. Actually, I thought all the matches were good. I thought the opening tag match was solid. I thought the finish was creative. The Bunny and Anna Jay match was solid and led or progressed that story. And then the main event is Miro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In my mind, in the ring, on the mic, Miro does no wrong. And try as Fuego might, he couldn't win the match and he couldn't keep his car.
You know what I really hope we get before Kenny loses that title is some sort of interaction between TNT Title Island and AEW World Title Island. Because Miro is on a tear. He's terrifying. He's devastating. It'd be nice to see them at least acknowledge each other a little bit, Miro saying, hey, this is my title, but if I wanted that one, I could take it.
Totally.
And, Kenny giving him some static. It'd be fun to see that, It's like, that's the thing. Like, you don't need a brand split to have that kind of interaction. You keep two guys separate, dominant, and then they come at it, or you could have your world champion on one program come up and show up for a tag team match on the other show.
To maybe promote a pay-per-view that's not happening in 2 more months. I don't know. We'll talk about that more in the SmackDown review that we're doing right after this, because early on, especially on SmackDown, my head was starting to hurt trying to make sense of a lot of things. It's like a lot of things, and I'll just mention this. We can move on with AEW. It's the AEW show, the WWE show. it's one of those situations where there's a story they're trying to tell, but they kind of do it in reverse, you know?
Yeah, right. Isn't that weird?
But anyways, we'll get to that more on the SmackDown preview. The Britt Baker Ruby Soho bit was really good. They've had a relatively short build for this. In fact, it's been so far all of 12 days. And they had the tag match, Rebel and Jamie Hayter against who'd Ruby tag with in that match? It's on the tip of my tongue. Why am I not remembering it?
Not Statlander, Riho. No.
Oh, it was.
Who was it?
It wasn't it?
Was it Riho?
Gosh, I feel foolish for even bringing it up without actually knowing who was in the bout.
Who were we talking about? The 6-man tag? Is that what we're talking about? It was Riho and Statlander, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a long couple days.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all good. Yeah. Anyways. The Ruby Britt stuff was fantastic. I like that these two go way back. And so they're seemingly comfortable with allowing, with Ruby getting the shot in about, banging a dude in the back, which was like a heavy line.
Yeah.
Britt calling her out for, you're not a runaway, you were fired. I thought it was all really good stuff. And like, it's just, I hate to harp on it, man, but it's just another example of like what happens when you give a wrestler who's obviously very creative the freedom to be creative. Like we see it with Miro, we saw it with Brody, and we're seeing it with Ruby now. It's a pretty great thing to see somebody unleash their full potential.
And I like
you'll love to see it.
Yeah, you do love to see it. I like that Ruby brought that up during her promo itself. We'll get to the particulars. I'm still looking through stuff. I don't know why. You found the answer. Anyways, let's just get into it. Before I drive myself crazy.
Is my authority not good enough?
No, it is. Okay, yeah, I'm just double checking. Yeah, you're right.
It is. Wait, let me double check. You're right.
No, because while you were in the process of saying that was it, I was already in the process of looking. And I will not be content unless I know
how your personality works.
My search reaches its conclusion. Because otherwise, you're like,
yeah.
It's my.
I know. I like to needle you a
nature.
little bit. Sometimes I do kind of the same thing. Sometimes I'm like, I need to know for myself. What did I write down?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, it's kicked off with a really fun tag match: Butcher and the Blade versus the Lucha Brothers. I mean, man, what can you say? Great match.
It was a lot of fun. Got some solid back and forth. Butcher and the Blade have the early advantage until Phoenix gets a tag in to Penta. They take out Butcher and Blade with a couple high flying moves. I believe Penta with suicide dive, Phoenix with a dive off the top rope. Penta goes back up top, misses a move off there. Butcher hits him with the fun splash, gets a 2 count, and then for a stretch, Butcher and Blade isolate Pentagon. Then Penta hits Butcher and the Blade with some moves, tags in Phoenix. He hits this great moonsault German suplex. It gets him a 2 count. Lucha Brothers hit their finish. Phoenix, at times they hit the finish. Phoenix will try to suicide dive, the person who didn't take the finish ringside to make sure they don't break up the pin. He tried this time, whiffed. Butcher gets in there, breaks up the pin while Penta's covering the Blade. So Butcher hits Penta with an Uranagi. Blade's in. Penta hits him with some kicks. Blade responds with a power slam. And then later on, Penta gets the tassels on his mask tied to the second rope. And so he's trying to free himself. While this is happening, Phoenix is getting wrecked by Butcher and the Blade. So they're set up to hit their finish. And then Penta just says, to heck with it. Pulls his head out of his mask and covers up his face with one hand. Super kicks, I believe it was Blade, so Phoenix rolls him up to get the win. So as soon as the match ends, Private Party hits the ring. They start attacking the Lucha Brothers. Butcher and the Blade join in. And then Santana and Ortiz run down to make the save. So I don't know if this is going to be a Santana and Ortiz versus Private Party or Butcher and the Blade or some combination of the 2 out of the 3 to get a match against the Lucha Brothers for the tag titles, or is it going to be an 8-man? Do they advertise an 8-man tag for Rampage next week?
I did not see that, but it is entirely possible. I was reading chat and I didn't see it.
Yeah, I was kind of paying attention. I guess the theme of this recap is Larson half paying attention to things.
It's all right.
While they were going through the match cards for both Dynamite and Rampage next week. And I thought I saw an 8-man tag with Lucha Brothers and Santana and Ortiz taking on Private Party and Butcher.
Yeah, okay. Yes, it was.
Okay.
Who was this? Tomorrow Fight says there's an 8-man tag next week. That's cool. Obviously, Santana Ortiz are from New York. Private Party's from New York, so that's fun. That's good stuff. They'll get a good reaction there.
And hopefully this leads to a Santana and Ortiz Lucha Brothers feud, because they had some fantastic matches in Impact.
Yeah, man. Don't you want to? I mean, don't you want to wait? Gotta wait on that a little.
I'm not saying that this feud should happen next month. Hopefully, this is the start of that story that leads to that feud for those tag titles.
Yeah,
I mean, because you think at this juncture, Santana and Ortiz are just to have a feud against FTR, coming out in the winning end of that. Although it kind of feels like they need to do a rubber match still. They haven't won the tag titles yet. They've been in the company almost 2 years.
Yeah,
haven't won the tag titles yet. It feels like they're due. But the same could easily be said for the Lucha Brothers. They are in the company since the very beginning. I know early on the AAA tag titles were the de facto AEW tag titles, and they won them during All Out, the first one. Mm-hmm. But after that, they didn't win anything until they finally got the tag titles on. So
yeah, you know what they could do. You could have, if you have LAX. Look, there's no small amount of tag teams for LAX to mix it up with. They do need I don't know if are they ranked right now? I haven't checked to see. I know as of their last match with FTR, they were not ranked. Mm-hmm. So they need to do that to get up there. So there's all sorts of tag teams they can feud with, and I kind of feel like the Lucha Brothers probably. I know that both teams can kind of be whatever, and you could have both teams the way they are, but Lucha Bros might end up with Andrade to play, their heel, to get them heel. And then it might be a bigger win for LAX if, like, the next time they're around New York, whenever that might be, they get the title win in New York.
Yeah, they have a show in Long Island.
They're coming back to Rochester at some point soon.
That's in 2 weeks.
Oh, that's only in 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, that's the week after Grand Slam. It's either November or December. They're going to have a show in Long Island.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe by then, but that's still that's like a 3-month title reign maybe for Lucha Brothers.
I think we could totally agree that LAX is up next in terms of those tag titles.
Feels
that's definitely going to be a thing. And I wonder if, given how long the Young Bucks had them, maybe they can have a shorter title reign than, I kind of feel like AEW needs to mix up their titles a little bit more anyways, like not stick with such long title reigns. Mm-hmm. But Lucha Bros are great. They're awesome. Even do a thing. Maybe you do a little bit of hot potato.
Yeah, trade them back and forth titles. A little bit. Yeah.
You have so many tag teams out there. I mean, dude, the Gun Club undefeated.
Where's their title shot?
Aren't they? Let me hold on a second.
We just heard from Billy Gunn. This I remember. We just heard from Billy Gunn last week. They're tired of the disrespect.
Look, man, it's the end of the week. We're going to take a look at these rankings. Larson.
Oh, there you go. While you do that, I'll move on to the next segment. Let's take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Several years ago, while dealing with severe anxiety, I learned the importance of talking to a therapist, but also discovered that it could be extremely difficult to find the right person to talk to. Today, BetterHelp is providing a safe and private online environment where your needs will be assessed and you'll be matched with your own licensed personal therapist.
BetterHelp isn't a crisis line, nor is it self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online, all without having to ever sit in another uncomfortable waiting room.
BetterHelp is dedicated to facilitating great therapeutic matches. Send your counselor messages at any time or schedule regular phone or video sessions. And they've made it free and easy to change therapists if needed.
And you don't have to limit yourself to counselors in your area. BetterHelp services are available worldwide, so you can find the expertise you need regardless of location.
We want you to start living a happier life today. As a Going In Raw listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/raw. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health.
Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
Let's get a word from our sponsor, Amazon Music. Since all the friendos out there are listening to this show, it's safe to assume you love listening to podcasts. Well, you'll find tons of podcasts, including this one, Going In Raw, on Amazon Music.
That's right. Amazon Music has more than 10 million free podcasts to listen to, such as the hilarious Smartless, which you can get ad-free 1 week before everyone else. There's also the true crime podcast, Dr. Death Miracle Man, which is available 2 weeks early on Amazon Music.
Yeah, and if you're like Larson and love your music, you got to check out the thousands of free music stations and playlists on Amazon Music. Or if you like your tunes on demand and ad-free, then you got to give Amazon Music Unlimited a try. It gives you unlimited access to a lot of songs, like 75 million songs, as well as podcasts, music videos, and so much more.
And with Amazon Music Unlimited, you can listen to any song anywhere, driving to work, walking your dog, doing wind sprints, anywhere, offline and with unlimited skips.
Or you could listen to podcasts like Going in Raw while working out at the gym, or if you're like me, working out at home. So if you've never tried Amazon Music Unlimited, now is a great time. For a limited time, new customers can try Amazon Music Unlimited free for 3 months. No credit card required. Just go to amazon.com/GIR.
That's amazon.com/GIR to try Amazon Music Unlimited free for 3 months. Amazon.com/GIR. Renews automatically. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
Before we get back to the show, let's get a word from our sponsor, DoorDash. You know, Steve, I found myself ordering with DoorDash a lot recently, like more than twice a month. Sometimes it felt like I was paying just as much in delivery fees as I was for the actual meals. But then I signed up for Dash Pass, and now I'm saving money on the food I'm already eating.
I was once there with you, friendo, but now that I got Dash Pass, I get unlimited $0 delivery fees from thousands of restaurants, grocery stores, and convenience stores, saving me about $4 to $5 on each order I place. Dash Pass pretty much pays for itself if I order like twice a month.
And with 18,000 restaurants eligible for Dash Pass, maybe we'll even find a new favorite place to eat. But Dash Pass is about more than good eats. You can get flowers, pet supplies, even groceries delivered to your door. So try a free month of Dash Pass now and watch those savings add up.
So if you're ready to save money on your DoorDash orders, DoorDash is offering a free month for Dash Pass right now. Stop spending money on delivery fees. Try Dash Pass from DoorDash today for free.
When you've got 0 delivery fees, you're free to get more. Because you can. Start your free month today. We had a Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson video package. So Kenny's complaining about Bryan Danielson getting a match against him without being ranked. And you know, it's one of those promos they do where they're responding to each other, yet they're not in the same room. They probably didn't shoot
it's so confusing.
Anywhere close to the same time.
Revolutionary is what they're doing.
It really is. They're bending space and time to tell these stories in these promos.
Yeah.
So Kenny's complaining about Bryan Danielson getting a match without being ranked, just showing up and getting a match against him, champion. And Bryan Danielson is just like, I just want a match against the top guy. I don't want it for the title. And Kenny says he's targeted because he's the top talent. And then Bryan Danielson, I gotta get used to saying that still. Bryan Danielson.
Dude, I know, it's not easy.
Showing now that he's in AEW, this is the real him. And that's going to be scary for AEW. And Kenny talks about Danielson being the underdog. He says, but this time the underdog is not going to have a Cinderella ending. What did you discover with these rankings?
So Santana Ortiz are 7-3 on the year. Right now, FTR are ranked. So wait, FTR, I guess, I don't know. Like, so the Young Bucks are ranked second, but like, do they get a shot if they keep on ranking up because they just lost those titles? I don't know how it works once you haven't. Yeah. So they're 10-2. They're not ranked right now.
Okay. Who's ranked number
Butcher
one
and Blade. I think Butcher and Blade's shot was tonight.
Yes.
They were 7-0. They were number 1.
Yeah.
Young Bucks are number 2. Next up would be Jurassic Express at number 3. They haven't had a tag title shot against Lucha Bros, but they did. Didn't they have a tag title shot against the Young Bucks?
They did.
And then after them, the Gun Club.
Oh,
so you actually have 3 teams who have already had tag title shots within the past whatever. Gun Club is 8-0, and that's specifically Billy and Colton.
Okay.
And then after that is FTR 7-1. So you got to think at 7-3, LAX is not that far behind.
Yeah.
I keep on calling him LAX. I know I'm not supposed to with Santana Ortiz. I get that.
You know, they if they keep getting featured on Dynamite, pad their win totals on Dark or Elevation, matter of a month or two.
Oh, dude,
they'll be
easy.
ranked,
Absolutely.
not just ranked, probably towards the top.
You have 4 shows. 1 match per show for 2 months is like 18 different matches or something. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Anyways.
So after that, we had the Bunny versus Anna Jay. Anna Jay had the early advantage here. She hits Bunny with a suplex on the floor. Eventually, Bunny makes a comeback, hits a super kick while on the floor, starts working Anna's arm. Of course, Anna Jay just came back from shoulder surgery. And she had the rock tape on it. So the Bunny was working that for a bit. Eventually, though, Anna Jay hits a blockbuster that gets her a 2 count. She's looking for the Queen Slayer. Bunny escapes that. She's looking for her finish. Anna escapes that. When that happens, Penelope Ford gets on the apron. So Ty Conti came down ringside with Anna Jay. She gets Ford off the apron. They start brawling ringside, and then Anna Jay rolls up Bunny for the win. As soon as the match is over, a brawl breaks out between all 4 of them. Eventually, Penelope Ford gets some brass knuckles, and then she hits Ty Conti and Anna Jay with them.
After that, this was really good. It was really good. It's funny how there's like a weird situation right now, man, with my guys and Team Taz. So Team Taz is split up into 2 groups, apparently. There's the Hobbs Taz Hook contingent, which I consider Team Taz Alpha because Hobbs is great.
He is great.
And so he's a great talker. Too.
Yeah.
He's a really good talker.
Yeah, he is.
So this is all about, and this is one of those situations where I think it helps a lot that he's a bad guy. Because if he was a good guy, I'm not sure how interesting he'd be, but as a bad guy, and then you turn him to a good guy later on, he says, Punk doesn't want to mess with him, tells Punk to think about why he stayed gone for 7 years. And it's, it shows him putting him in the table, all sorts of great angles of that.
Yeah.
But then nowhere to be found, unless maybe it's on Dark and Elevation, is like the FTW Island.
Ricky Starks was on commentary tonight.
Oh, that's why I didn't notice, because I was reading chat and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really
he was
care
on
about
commentary tonight.
Well, that's cool. Good for him. Awesome. I did not see him at all. But what did he say about? Did you hear what he said about Brian?
I mean, we were talking so much, and then if we weren't talking, it was during promos. So no, I didn't hear.
I'm sure he said something very rude. But I just haven't seen him. Him and Cage have a thing going right now. Is that happening at Arthur Ashe? Is that happening at Grand Slam?
Not that I'm aware of.
Really?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot. If you look at the storylines going in AEW, there's actually quite a few things going on.
What? Yeah, but this is for the title, the FTW title. It's Taz's, own property.
Yeah.
And Brian Cage and Ricky Starks is like the endless feud.
Yeah, pretty much.
At this point, this feud is not going to be settled until like 2025 or something.
All right.
You cool with that?
I mean, I'd like to see Ricky Starks doing other things, but
yeah.
As I said, AEW has a lot of things going on right now, so I would imagine the next 3 weeks they'll have their match on Dynamite or Rampage, and then Ricky Starks can move on to other things.
Main event Elevation with this match.
Okay.
Then Brian Cage can start, he can hold it down there on Dark or Elevation.
He needs to find a tag team partner. Get into a tag team.
Who?
Brian Cage.
Brian Cage tagging with Brian Cage.
Yes.
I meant who's his tag team
I don't
partner?
know. I haven't thought that far.
I liked your first idea. Brian Cage gets a tag team partner as Brian Cage.
Yeah, totally.
This is what they should do, because they should find a guy named Brian Cage with a Y. Then it's Brian Cage
or
Brian
Ryan Cage. Yeah, Brian Cage and Ryan Cage.
Yeah. How about Brian Cage with a K? Cage.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good too.
Okay.
That'd be rad. We got to find somebody like that.
Maybe, yeah. So after that, we had a Matt Hardy interview. He's just talking about how he's upset. He's going to have the last laugh. Says Anna Jay is going to pay next week at the hands of Penelope Ford. Oh, yeah. I forgot about this. Matt Hardy confirms Lucha Brothers, Santana Ortiz are going to pay an 8-man tag match next week. I literally wrote those words down. Didn't remember it.
There's a lot going on. We got the chat and everything. People are asking us about Alfredo sauce and stuff. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
It is a good time. And he says he's upset about Orange Cassidy. He says there's Orange Cassidy look-alike ringside, and it's just a guy with an Orange Cassidy shirt and a denim jacket.
If you guys are familiar with the British comedian Chabuddy G, that's what this dude looked like. He looked like Chabuddy G. Matt Hardy accused him of being a look-alike when clearly he was just a fan, and commentary sort of chuckled about that. Hardy jaws at him, brings him ringside, puts him in the ring. Jack Evans starts
beating him up a little bit.
Clocking.
That's
It says here in your notes.
Yeah, punching.
He clocks him.
Yeah.
He clocks him. I've never seen that in your notes before. Hardy hits a twist of fate on him. He gets out the scissors and he's about to gut him like a fish, but instead he decides to cut his hair because that's what he wants to do.
He's always going to cut his hair because that's what he wants to do to Orange Cassidy.
I thought he was going to.
I don't think there's going to be any sort of levels of violence to that degree.
He's going to. Evans takes, and then he gets some really good pair of clippers with that are cordless.
Yeah,
and he's able to shave his head. So the question came up in chat: what level angle, if you could sort of rank at this point, given all the stories that you just mentioned are happening right now, what story would you be willing to sacrifice your beard for in the same manner, like you and I are ringside?
There would only be, well, it's the same manner?
Oh, look, it's going in Raw. They're at ringside,
no,
and who is jawing at us that then pulls you into the ring?
It would have to be a situation where I was in a better body than my own. I was a wrestler. I didn't have a bad neck. I was a wrestler. And it'd be one of two situations. It'd be a mask versus beard match. Or it'd be something about a championship situation. Otherwise, no, I'm not going to be some fan ringside and I get pulled into the ring and someone shaves my beard. What's really in it for me?
The fun of it. You know, you got to say you're a part of the story.
Hold on.
You think Pulse wouldn't have done it? James, you think James from Deadlock wouldn't? He was there before. You think if they were like, hey, it'd be really fun.
But here's the thing.
I've brought you in.
I've had this on my face for 20 some years. I don't know. Like, I have children. Would they recognize me without it? You know? There's more to it.
It grows back in like 3 days, man. You've got the metabolism like a rabbit.
I mean, I don't think metabolism necessarily plays in how fast your hair grows.
I think it does, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I literally said I don't know. But I don't believe there's any situation where I'm just like part of an angle. I'll go and they're like, sure, you can shave my beard. No. Unless there's some charity aspect involved. No.
Several aspects such as lifestyle or genetic and also metabolic conditions are involved in the speed at which hair grows. Man, you'd be able to grow back in like a week and you get to be part of the show.
See, I don't care about being a part of the show. It doesn't matter to me.
Oh, that'd be fun, man. Hey, going in right. You guys want to be ringside Steve? They're going to pull you.
Here, go ahead. You go in there and you let them shave your head. How about that?
I will let them shave my head.
Fine.
I'll let them do it for a darker elevation angle. How about that? Because I'm a guy who likes having fun.
I like having fun, just not at the expense of my facial hair. So anyways, Orange Cassidy very slowly makes his way down the ring to, I guess, make the save. But he gets in the ring and Matt Hardy and Jack Evans just leave, even though they have the numbers advantage. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. No, it doesn't at all. Well, you know, it's the Hardy family office, man. Yeah, Cassidy, I like that this dude is the fan of a guy who saunters for his saves. It's like we're kind of like I'm sort of this is time of the essence situation here.
Yes.
And friggin' Orange Cassidy just saunters on down. And they've got like 3 different people there in the ring, and then he gets in, and they act like he's, you know, the Thing or something.
Yeah. After that, we had this Britt Baker, Ruby Soho, face-to-face. Really good segment. Since my notes for promos are nearly indecipherable for someone other than myself, I'll go through this if you want to chime in.
I'll take Ruby's bits. You take Britt's bits.
All right.
I'll see if I can figure it out.
All right. So Britt says Ruby is still trying to figure out who she is. Says she changes her name. All this, like, multiple times. She's gotten extra tattoos. She's trying to fit in anywhere. But in AEW, everybody knows who Britt Baker is.
Yeah, Ruby says, yeah, they all know who you are because every single week you shove it down their throats. You remind them who you are. She says, I know you're not accustomed to being told that you're wrong, but you are. She says, I know who you are. I know who Ruby knows who she is Ruby is. And up until now, I haven't had the freedom to prove it. And the crowd's like, oh, dang, shot at WWE.
Yeah.
She says, but let's flip the script here and talk about Britt. And at this point, the crowd's chanting, Ruby, Soho, DMD. Ruby. She's like, yeah, let's talk about DMD. She says, on the surface, you look like everyone else that I've stepped in the ring with. Entitled, self-centered, and banging someone in the back. And it turns out, if there's anything,
She wants to see if this turns out if there's anything more. Sorry.
Okay.
Like I said. This is like basically trying to read a stenographer's transcript without going through the training I've had of understanding, how stuff is typed by a stenographer.
This is great. It's like a bit.
Yeah. So anyways, Britt wonders if Ruby is just lying to just herself or to everybody. She says, you call yourself the runaway, but you actually didn't run away from anything. You got fired.
Ooh, crowd says, dang, shout out WWE. And Ruby says, you're not wrong, but it turns out that was the best thing that ever happened to me because it brought me to AEW in this ring to look Britt in your eyes. And she wants Britt to see what she's messing with, but she's surprised she can see anything considering how far Britt's head is up Tony Khan's asshole. She says, you'll be able to call yourself a lot of things, but you can't call yourself AEW Women's World Champion as of next week.
Yep. And then Britt tries to take a cheap shot at Ruby. Ruby ducks. Brett leaves the ring. Ruby, huge mistake, picks up that title.
Bad move,
keep
Ruby
your hands,
Soho.
unless you want it, you keep your hands off that belt.
That's the go-home math.
That is the go-home
right there,
math.
man.
That is correct.
AEW might not be WWE, but it ain't that different from a WWE.
Nope.
It's not Impact where there is no go-home math. Go-home math doesn't mean anything there.
Yeah, no, it means nothing. Nothing. Anyways, after that
we had.
We had a Fuego Del Sol and Miro split screen interview. Of course, Mark Henry doing the interview. First question for Fuego. Fuego says that he does love his car, but he'll risk it all for one more shot at TNT title. He almost beat Miro last time, and would have shocked the world. He's like, hey, you know the story of, or he says, Miro, you're a religious man. You know the story of David and Goliath. Well, tonight I slay my giant with a tornado DDT. Henry asked Miro about his strategy, and Miro says nothing has changed, but Fuego's offering means nothing to me because he means nothing to me. I took the match because I love celebrating my victories with my God up high and my wife down low.
Oh, time out sex. Anyways, and then of course he says, okay, we're done with the talking. Time for the main event.
Yep.
And we got that. Fuego Del Sol versus Miro. Much longer match than this probably should have been. And I was expecting a trashing of a car like was promised by Miro.
Well, it could maybe happen on Dynamite, Elevation, Dark, something.
Oh, you think that's still going to be a thing? That could still be
that's
a
no
thing.
guarantee. I know Miro did shove the keys in Fuego's mouth. So let's get through the match real quick, go to the finish. So early on, Fuego's using his speed advantage. He's evading Miro, hitting a kick here and there, dodges a Mashka kick, sends Miro out of the ring, looks for a plancha. Miro catches him. Fuego escapes that, rams Miro into the ring post. And then Miro tries to dump Fuego into the crowd. A few fans catch Fuego. Fuego looks for a splash off the guardrail. Miro catches him. Fall-away slam on the floor. Later on, Fuego starts to come back with the kick and some strikes, goes for a springboard. And Miro absolutely destroys him with a double axe handle. Annihilates him. So then Miro starts playing it to the crowd, saying he's going for a DDT. Fuego blocks, hits a couple double stomps, kick, a DDT, but he doesn't cover. Instead, he goes for the tornado DDT, which Miro blocks. And then Miro starts beating the heck out of him in the corner. Hits a Machka kick, doesn't cover, stands Fuego up, hits another one to get the win. And basically, as soon as that bell rings, the ref hands Miro the keys to Fuego's car. And so he grabs him. First, he acts like he's going to throw him into the crowd. Doesn't. Instead, he shoves him in Fuego's mouth and puts him in game over. Mm-hmm. Sammy Guevara runs out to make the save and then knees Miro out of the ring. And what does Sammy do? He picks up that TNT title.
Ooh, bad move.
Bad move, Sammy.
Bad move, Sammy.
Bad move.
Yeah. This is kind of interesting. A friendo, Tyler Watkins, tweeted at me. He was there at the SmackDown show. Won Mr. Keith Lee at a dark match on SmackDown tonight. So that's cool. Yeah. Solid episode of Rampage.
Did you say solid episode of Thunder?
Yeah, I did it for fun. Anyways, can we get a couple questions here in the Twitch chat?
Sure.
Because I totally forgot to put
it's all good.
a thread up. I'm going to do that for our SmackDown show, but yeah, if you guys
sure.
can just ask us a couple. Hey.
Solus here says, just dropped a note to say thank you, Steve, for your Twitter message and to generally positive response from the friendos, regardless of time. Some things are worth being addressed. I'll second Solus. I greatly appreciate you putting those feelings into words. In complete and total agreement with you.
You know, man, it's just there was a lot over the past 24 hours, you know, between what was going on with a good friend of ours, Sean Ross Sapp, and then some comments left in the YouTube comments of the Quizlemania episode about Kayla. And it was just like, it's like, man, you don't, if you ever have like a negative thought about a person for whatever reason, you don't need to air it. You know, I mean, look, if it's like a shitty situation like Tommy Dreamer, then yeah, but it's like, if somebody is just sharing an opinion about wrestling, you don't need to shit on that person. If there's a content creator out there expressing themselves or just having fun on a trivia show, and you think, oh, I don't like this person for whatever reason, you don't have to. You don't have to make people feel bad. You know?
Yeah.
Like what's the reason for that? For just trying to make people. I'm a human being and I ain't perfect, you know? We're not perfect. We just found this as a job and we enjoy doing it. We do this for fun. I like making people laugh and I like talking with you and we like talking wrestling. Yeah. And the other content creators that are our friends, they're the same. Yeah. You know, they just enjoy doing this. And, you know, sometimes the unspoken thought can mean so much because you don't have every word that you think of in a negative manner. It doesn't have to be like that. So I don't know. There was just a lot of that. It was like a bunch of stuff. And then the dark side stuff with Tommy Dreamer. It's like, this is so, you know, it's just disheartening. I just feel like, you know, dudes can be better. Dudes can be better. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Nobody's going to take away your precious wrestling space. Nobody's going to take it away. Just be cool.
Yeah, just be cool.
Just be cool.
Just be cool. Yeah. IML says, I always like seeing the Butcher because every time I've met Andy, showed him photos I took during Warped Tour. He was always one of the nicest people. Love sitting to check out the shots we took of the band. That's cool.
I've heard. Yeah, he's a really nice guy. Yeah. Cold Snacks says, guess Orange Cassidy's urgency depends on who you are. He was pretty fired up for Chris Statlader's title match. That's true. Yeah, man. Well,
D. Brown Jr. 87 with the sub. Thank you. Says AEW knows how to make promos edgy without crossing the line. Mentions Ruby and Miro. Says, well, besides Jericho, lol.
Yeah, you know, it's a process. Nick Peak says, was not given a destroyed car segment to end the show. Hope those clowns in Jacksonville have a lawyer. Oh, man, that's funny. Let's see here. Jorge D says, so since tonight we had a jobber lose his car match, what is the jobber of cars?
Well, historically speaking, it's the
Pinto.
Yes, the Pinto. I was trying to think of the manufacturer. I don't know if it was AMC or not.
Oh, yeah, that I don't know.
That's what I was trying to think of.
My Chevy...
Ford.
Oh, Ford was the Pinto, really?
Yeah.
My the Chevy Cruze was the jobber of my cars.
Yeah.
Because like that thing, it was like before it was even 40,000 miles. Like the I don't know, something in the engine cracked. I took it in. They're like, oh yeah, we'll fix it. They fix it for free. First opportunity I had. I'm trading this thing in.
Yeah.
Because this is K Reezy said, who's taking the TNT title off of Miro?
Nobody. He'll lose that title when he chooses to lose it.
Somebody's gonna take it off him. It's wrestling. Even Bruno lost his title.
Yeah, because he said I need some time off, Vince.
Not in kayfabe,
but in this,
I don't think Vince.
Well, this is Dad's name.
Vince Senior. Yeah, it would have been Vince Senior. Yeah, Vince Senior.
Maggie says you can book 2 undercard wrestlers for a long-term story on Rampage, Dark Elevation. Who do you pick? 2 undercard wrestlers in AEW.
For a long-term story.
Well, I mean, we're kind of getting it right now with 2 mid-carders, Ricky Starks and Brian Cage. The story is going on seemingly in perpetuity.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she means like long-term with a bunch of twists and turns,
not just stuff.
Not just they're still feuding.
Yeah.
I would go with, I'm trying to think of like the undercard. I'd go with Cesar Bononi.
All right.
Today he power ranked his 5 favorite burger joints.
I saw that.
I only recognized In and Out and Five Guys. I think the other three I didn't even know what they were.
The number one I had not heard of before. I think
Yeah.
Whataburger was on there.
Oh, okay. I'd heard. Yeah, of course. I've never had a Whataburger.
Same, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
So I'd go with Cesar Bononi, and I'd go with 10 from the Dark Order.
Oh, that's good.
Because I think that, two bigger dudes, that could be good.
I would say Ty Conti.
Good.
And where is Hikaru Shida been since she lost the title?
Where was she when she was champion? Right?
Because I think that could be fun. I think they had one match on Dynamite when Shida still had the belt.
Yes, they did. Yeah. Sheeta's been on Dark.
Okay.
Yeah, she needs to be on Thunder Rampage. Hip Hop Hippo says, what happened to Sean Ross Sapp? You can look at it on his Twitter feed. That's sort of his story to tell. But, yeah. Monstrosity says, I love Sammy, but how long until Brian Pillman Jr. is TNT champion?
It's going to be a while because Miro's not losing that belt anytime soon.
I don't know with Brian Pillman Jr. I think he's been doing really good work lately, though.
Yeah, I think he's been doing some pretty solid work of late, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, Maggie asked, Steve Stradamus, when does Miro become AEW champion? Mark these words.
Okay.
February 2024.
All right.
Remember that date.
About 2.5 years
The
from
month. Yeah. February 2024.
now. All right. We can end on this one. Hugh Longheavy. Besides just excellent matches, what can AEW do to make the Arthur Ashe show feel like a big pay-per-view? A lot of pyrotechnics. That helps.
Make it an even bigger place. Structurally.
You mean
build it out and make it a larger venue.
that feels like that's something they'd have to start doing like months, if not years ago.
What's the capacity of Arthur Ashe?
I think they said for wrestling it was like 17,000.
Yeah, make it 36,000.
So you want a baseball stadium essentially.
Yeah. So you want to start building like
It would probably be easier to move the show to like Citi Field where the Mets play, as opposed to, which is also in Queens, as opposed to building an addition to Arthur Ashe Stadium. I'm just putting that out there.
They asked what I want to do. Yeah, pyro's good. And
A surprise. Give us a surprise finish, like something we wouldn't expect to happen.
Yeah, a big story turn.
Yeah.
A big story turn. That's what you need.
Yeah.
You need a big story turn.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later. But Twitch chat, stick around. We're going to do SmackDown still.
Yeah,
so
right now.
Goodbye to you, but then stay around, you guys.
Bye, but